Thanks, guys. It's really a pleasure to be here. It's my first time here in Russia. And yeah, I'm going to try to give you a little bit of overview about Brazil and Latin American market. I don't know how many of you guys run gaming companies here in Russia. Can you just raise hands? Most of you are mobile companies or PC-focused companies. Mobile? Nope. Yeah, sorry. Mobile companies? Yeah, okay. No problem. Any of you guys have tried to publish your games in Latin America or specifically in Brazil or any other region of Latin America? Yeah? How did you guys succeed there? Did you guys have really good numbers or still trying to figure out? Yeah. This is something that you guys should know, that Latin America is not the same. Each country has its own particularities, and you guys are going to see, in a nutshell, a little bit about Brazil and also about other countries in Latin America. We only have 30 minutes, so I will try to give the best I can in this time, okay? So yeah, first of all, I'm CEO of Kokku. And I also work as the Minister of Culture in Brazil. And I'm also Vice President of Marketing at Abra Games. This is our national association in Brazil. Okay? And this is where I'm going to talk a little bit. It's about Latin industry and also the Latin market and esports in Brazil. If we do still have some time to talk about it, because I do have a lot of slides and I love to show videos. And you guys are going to show at least 3 videos here. First of all, Latin industry, not only industry, but also some particularities about this. First of all, in Latin, we have a lot of natural resources, and we also have a really great urban area. And what I mean, this is really important for the Europeans, of course, not here, because Russia is really, 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 really big. But in certain, we have a lot of cities in Latin America that they are more populous there than other countries in Europe. For example, only in the great São Paulo, we have 21 million people living there. And in comparison with, for example, Sweden, the whole Sweden have only 9 million people living there, okay, and also Denmark and other places. So if only São Paulo, the greater São Paulo, that has some small cities, also we do have 21 million people living there, okay, and also such cities such as Buenos Aires and Ciudad de Mexico and other cities that we also have really a lot of people living in these cities. We have a really young population. Most of of the people that live in the in Latin America, they are in their 20s. 25 to 30 years old. This is our average citizen in Latin America. And also, we have a really we have a diversity of ethnicity that's really beautiful. This is one thing that it's a fun fact about Brazil, for example. I don't know if you guys know, but one of the fake, we have a lot of stolen passports in the whole world, and the most common fake passport that you're going to see is a Brazilian passport. Because first of all, we do not have a race. You guys can see me, for example, descendant of Portuguese people, but if you go to Brazil, you're going to see a lot of people that will look like a Russian, that will look like German people, that will look like a British. And it's really complicated for you to actually to see someone on the streets and then tell, hey, this guy, he is a Brazilian. No, it's really complicated. But if you go to Brazil, and if you're a Russian, if you go to Brazil, and if you don't use, really tourist clothes, like I'm a tourist, or if you don't try to use your phone to try to record everything from the city, then you can you will not be noted as a tourist in Brazil. But if a German guy who goes to anywhere, then you're going to see that he is a German guy, because again, in Brazil we have this diversity of ethnicities because a lot of countries went to Brazil and then they decided to establish their families there, and they decided to stay there because, Brazil is awesome. You guys are invited. And also, the digital engagement there is really insane. For example, we are now under a presidency election, okay? And I don't know if you guys are following the news, but we have an outsider leading now the election, and he's going to be probably our next president. And he only had 10 seconds on TV to show his proposals to Brazil. But he showed actually his digital engagement of his electors. They were so strong on social media that he actually is going to beat all other candidates in Brazil, and he's going to be our next candidate. He's going to be our next president, actually. And a little bit about now the Latin industry. First of all, we have some key countries. They are Brazil, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Colombia, and Mexico. And you guys should have that in mind, that all of these countries, we do have our particularities. And if you're trying to actually to send your game or to publish your game, you have to understand what they are looking for. First of all, I can tell you, it's not here on the presentation. People in Latin America, they don't like to spend money. Literally money. They don't like to use their credit card to pay for games. If you're going to do a game that is based on ads, then you're going to do really good, really great, because in Brazil they can spend, I don't know, maybe 3 days watching a lot of videos, watching a lot of ads, only to try to get a lot of money from it, and then they can actually purchase some item inside your game. And of course, this is different in Argentina, this is different for Colombia and Chile. Each country, it has its own particularity, okay? And I'm going to talk a little bit about the companies in Latin America. They are the most successful companies in Latin America. In Argentina, we have these 3 studios. They are the biggest studios there, the largest studios. One of them is NGD Studios, the other is Ethermax, and the other one is Globant. Globant has, I don't know, maybe 1,000 employees spread around the world, of course, not only in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, but in Buenos Aires, if I do recall well, they have at least 600 people working there. Okay, and NGD Studios, they have 80 people, and Ethermax is the same amount of people as NGD. And some key games, we are going to see Trivia Crack, and I'm bringing these games because you guys can actually find these games and try to see what they did to actually perform really well in Latin America. Okay, so we do have Trivia Crack by Ethermax. We do have Masters of Orion by NGD Studios. This game was published by the guys of Wargaming. Okay, they perform really, really, really well as well. And from Colombia, we do have Brains, Gen City, the TerraVision, and Effecto Studios. Effecto Studios, they are really good as well. They did one of the first AAA kind of games in Latin America. For World War II by Brains, that was acquired by Gen City. If I do recall well, the Gen City bought Brains for at least, I don't know, maybe $50 million or something like this, or a little bit lower than that. I need to double check my info. But this game is really well succeeded. And also Neon Fury by TerraVision Games. And Arc by Effecto Studios. I don't know if you guys ever heard about Arc. So there was a bunch of Colombians that did this game. And from Chile, we have Tiny Bytes with their online multiplayer, Massive Warfare. And then we are going to Mexico. Mexico, we have some other studios like Shilbawa. I don't know how to say the name of this company actually. I've never knew. And also Lienzo, who did Mulaka. And from Uruguay, we're going to have Ironhide. Ironhide, they have a really famous game that you guys probably know. It's Kingdom Rush. They're performing really good, only in Latin America, but also in the whole world. And also, we do have the new guys from Game Moloch. They only started, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. And they have this very ambitious kind of game. It's a MOBA game. It's really great. This is, we are going to see, yeah. Just let me try to, oh, wait. So it's not playing. Yes, this dear cinematic. Hold a second. Hey. It's going to be really quick, you guys. Hold a second. It's only because I need to. Probably my computer it's on mute. No, it's not. Here? No. Choose the right one. It's not playing.
Maybe other source. Maybe other source of sound. Just here. No.
We're gonna have this one. Maybe no.
So, I'm sorry.
No, no problem. Yeah, just put it back. Huh? Yeah. Oh, there you go. This is a mobile game that was developed for PC, and now it's going to be ported to mobile and also Xbox and PlayStation 4 as well. And also from Uruguay, you guys are going to have Battle V games with the Pixel Cup soccer. Of course, Latin America, we are really into soccer. We love football. And from Brazil, you're going to find some key companies such as Aquiris, Kokku, it's my company, but it's completely different. My company is an external development company. We work for other companies. We're going to show some stuff that we did. We also have Aquiris and Long Hat House and Gazoo Games as well. So for Aquiris, I don't know if you guys know this game, Horizon Chase Turbo. This game was performed really well. As a mobile game, it's a classic racing game. I don't know if you guys ever played Top Gear, of course. But this game, they won a lot of awards because of this game. Of course, it's really nostalgic. It gives you that sense of when you were a teenager and you had the chance to play Top Gear with your friends, and now you're going to have the same experience again, because now you're not only going to be able to play that on your mobile, but also you're going to play that on Xbox and also PS4 and other console too, and you're going to compete against your friends, of course. And you have to unlock. And this was a case of a freemium game, because you could actually download this game for free, and then you could actually play this game for 8 stages of the game. You could have played four tracks, and then you have to pay to play other tracks on there. And yeah, so this is all the awards that Horizon Chase Turbo had. I would advise you guys to actually download it, because it's a really great game from Brazil. And also, this is Kokku. It's my company. We are a next-round development company. So this is one of the titles that we have worked on. We have working on Horizon Zero Dawn. We did several of the robots for them, such as the Corruptor. This is very central to the storyline, and etc. I'm pretty sure that most of you guys know this title. And other title that we also worked on was Sniper Ghost Warrior 3. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this title, but this is a AAA game from a Polish company named CI Games.
Georgia. The separatists have occupied the region alongside the Russian border.
And they just announced that they are going to continue with the franchise, because they had the Sniper Ghost Warrior 1, 2, 3, and then now they're going to release a new game that is still under development. So for those ones that really enjoy to give some headshots, this is the perfect game for it. And I love this soundtrack as well. And it's really realistic, as you can see, because the head explodes.
Fuck you, John.
Smoking gun, so get ready, 'cause here I come. I'm dangerous.
Yep. And we also have Dandara. It's a really great indie game from Brazil. And also Gazooz. Gazooz, they made a lot of money with casino games, you know, like card games that you can play blackjack, and they made a lot of millions of dollars only with this kind of games. And also Domino. I don't know if Domino is a really big thing here in Russia. I don't know if you guys know, but it's something really big in Brazil. And yeah, and of course we are now becoming a really great company. Actually, Brazil is becoming a really great industry for the their companies, only because we do have a lot of support of our government now. We do have our national association, but we also have Apex Brazil, who is the national trade agency who helps to bring other Brazilian companies to travel around the world to show their games, to trying to find the publishers and trying to get deals from major companies. We also this is a partnership between Aber Games and also Apex Brazil, who is the BGD, that's Brazilian Game Developers Program. This is the program that Apex helps us a lot. And we have FINEP, it's a national investment agency who is giving a lot of money to invest in companies. For example, my company is one of the companies who is invested by FINEP. And Ancine is our national cinema agency. It also gives a lot of grants to Brazilian companies to try to create their own games, their own IP games. We have national banks such as the BNDES and Minky, which is our culture, our Ministry of Culture, and which also have a lot of calls for companies that wants to create their own games. So they were going to fund your game, and then you're going to, of course, if they're funding your game, they are going to probably have a share of your game as well. Okay. A little bit more about I don't know. You would like to take a photo, so yeah. There you go. Yeah, Latin market. Some numbers for you guys. First of all, we do have 650 million people in Latin America. Most of them, they are all online, and 210,000 million players in Latin America. They are actually gamers. Of course, some of the gamer profile in Latin America, most of the... I do remember when I was really young, it wasn't that long time ago, but I do remember that my mom always told me that, always told to my cousin, she's a girl, that games were for boys, you know, this is a boy thing, you should never play. And now you can see that's totally different, because in Latin America, most of the gamers, the big part of the gamers, they are women. Right now, okay, we have 53% of the gamers in Latin America, they are girls, and the women will continue to grow a lot in the following years. Because of and of course, we have a lot of companies that are taking advantage of it, because they are trying to understand what are the girls and what are the women looking for in terms of games too. And the gamer profile, most of the gamers in Latin America, they are from 25 to 34 years old, and that knocks down another myth about the video game industry, is that video game is a thing for kids. No, not anymore. This is a thing for us. This is a thing for the parents to have some fun with his kids. And also some grandpas as well, over 54 years old. My grandma and my grandpa would never play a game because they tell that this is something from the devil, and that can damage my TV screen. Yeah. And yeah, so which video games? This is the kind of video games that we do have later in Latin America, mostly in Brazil. They have, this is one thing that's really particular about Brazil, is that we do have more than one video game in Brazil. We don't have preferences about Xbox or PS4, for example, or a PC or anything like this. We like games, so we do like to have all kind of video games there. I have to rush. The revenue, Latin America in 2018, we are going to have $5 billion generated in Latin America. Most of this income is going to come from Mexico and also from Brazil. They are really close to each other. And also Colombia, Chile, and Argentina, they are really way behind, but they're going to spend more money on it as well. And we do have some shows there. This is our biggest show in Brazil. It's Brazil Game Show. It has 300,000 visitors in 5 days of event. This is a really big number, because I don't know if you guys know Gamescom, but Gamescom had 350,000 visitors this year. And so this show is as big as Gamescom, for example, and this is the biggest show in Latin America for now. We do have the Comic-Con experience with 220,000 visitors in only 4 days of event. So if you want to reach players, if you want to reach the community, then you must be in this kind of events. And we also have that's Brazilian International Indie Gaming Festival, and that is, we call it as BIG. And this event, it's a bit different from the other games, but because this event is not focused on the consumer, but it's focused on a B2B. So what you're going to, if you're going to this event, you're going to participate on our matchmaking system, and then you're going to have a chance to talk with guys from from EA, Gameloft, or from Capcom, or I don't know, you name it, and we are going to bring them because this is an event from our national association. So this is one thing that we do. We do have money from the government, so we invite people all over the world to come to Brazil. We cover their expenses to come to Brazil and to have meetings, really meaningful meetings with really big players of the whole world. And of course, we have the Game XP that was inside Rock in Rio. And about esports, I don't know if any of you guys are doing kind of esports game here, but we do have more than 17 million esports fans, and now we have a dedicated channel in Brazil on to talk about esports right now. And we are the third biggest worldwide audience. We are only behind USA and also China. Esports, we have the sponsoring teams there, like deodorants, like Old Spice, for example, and we also have traditional football teams. They have their own esports teams now. And a quick case about how to publish your game. Yeah, I'm going to be really quick now. It's MMA Federation. MMA is a really big thing in Brazil. You guys here also now with Nurmagomedov as well. But this game it's a card game strategy game. The target audience was a male from 16 to 40 years old. And the territory was Brazil for the soft launch, and then we are going to Latin. And for that, the strategy used was not to only try to acquire new users, to actually pay for users. What they did was they actually had some local irrelevant brand partnerships. So they used a lot of different YouTubers and also digital influencers like Jacqueline Marx. She is a ring girl, and also the Irmãos Piologo. They are really famous YouTubers in Brazil. So they reached out to these guys to make them talk about the game and to try to make them talk to their audience, to tell them that they had this really great game that's a MMA. And the result of it, instead of actually trying to pay to acquire new users, and they using this kind of strategy to bring users because of the influence of the digital influencers, they actually reached the first place at esports in strategy categories, and a lot of positive reviews and a lot of journalistic reports, and of course a lot of plenty great gameplays that people were using to actually show that they were playing the games, and etc. And we don't need to end here. You all guys are more than welcome to come to Brazil. As you can see, our Chris the Redeemer, we are arms wide open, like trying to say, hey bro, come here, give me a hug, and let's go to Brazil. Let's visit not only Rio, but São Paulo, Recife. We are a pretty wide country, and we are open to talk about business and to receive you guys and to publish your games there as well, okay? So that's it.